Hello chess lovers, let's have a look at a game played by Crafty Computer and Hikaru Nakamura. The game was played in 2007 and this was a ICC Blitz. Crafty started with knight c3, this is the danced opening, g6 by Nakamura, e4, bishop g7, bishop c4, e6, knight f3, knight e7, white castles, d6, d4, black castles, bishop g5, h6, bishop e3, b6, queen d2, king h7, d5, e5, knight e1 and f5. We see a very typical King's Indian defense-like structure, f3 and f4, bishop f2, g5. Black has a very simple idea to go for this g5, g4 break and attack white king. Knight d3, h5, rook e1, knight g6, rook e2, bishop h6. Look at this, Crafty Computer doesn't know how to behave in such closed positions. Usually in such positions, white is playing rook c1 and then preparing this c4, c5 break. But we can see that Crafty is just waiting for his death. Look at this knight, bishop, rook. What are they doing? Of course nothing. Knight e1, g4, queen d3, a6, a4, knight d7, king h1, knight f6. This knight is also joining the party. b4, rook f7, rook g1 and g3. h takes g3, f takes g3, bishop takes g3 and h4. And white is just forced to give up his bishop on h4. By the way, if a move like bishop f2, then black has this knight f4 move forking the queen and the rook, or if bishop h2, then black can first play knight h5, and if rook f1, then knight g3 check, king g1, knight f4. Forks are just everywhere. If queen d1, white is starting to lose his rooks one after another. Let's go back. So after h4 we see bishop takes h4, knight takes h4, and let's see how is Hikaru Nakamura going to realize his advantage. He is just starting to exchange the pieces in order to simplify the position and win the game. We can see that he is also closing the queen side, and now bishop takes h3, rook takes h3, queen g6, king f2, and we can see that he is exchanging the rooks as well. Queen h6, and now black queen is going to penetrate white's camp. Queen h1 check, and then queen c1. White is targeting this weakened pawn on c3. Bishop d2, and white is also losing the pawn on c3. Bishop d2, knight h4, knight g8. Of course, Crafty Computer is not going to resign, and let's see how Hikaru Nakamura is going to punish Crafty for that. We can see that he's forcing to exchange the knights as well, and now comes the king. Black is eyeing this pawn on f3, then knight takes f3. A few more moves and black is also losing the pawn on g file, and now comes the pawn on e4. Knight takes e4. Black is starting to capture white pawns. And now, of course, if Hikaru Nakamura promotes his pawn to a queen and checkmate white king, that will be very boring. Now look, he's going to promote all his pawns to knights. This is very beautiful. Look at this. And he's going to checkmate white king with his knights. Definitely Nakamura loves his cavalry. And now it's time for which pawn is he going to promote to a knight. c1 knight, king d2, and now the knight is going to line up on the 8th rank, knight e8. And now it's time for the d3 pawn to promote to a knight as well. Look at this knights. There it goes, the d pawn is also promoted to a knight. And now he's going just to checkmate white king. Of course, black has to be very careful in order not to stalemate. In this position, if I move like knight f3, then that will be a stalemate. So we see knight f5, king g1, knight f3 check, king h1, and knight g3 checkmate. Look at this beautiful checkmate with 6 knights. A very beautiful and creative idea to checkmate white king by Hikaru Nakamura. Your comments and questions please, and thanks for watching. Good luck.